Hi, kids. Okay, today in math, you are going to learn how to identify right angles. And I'm going to hold up just a piece of paper. This is just a piece of copy paper. And we know what shape this is, right? We know this is a rectangle. Two sides are the same and two sides are the same. Okay, how many angles does this rectangle have? Here's an angle, here's an angle, here's an angle, and here's an angle. So rectangles have 4 angles. Mathematicians have a special name for angles that look like angles on this piece of paper, and we call them right angles. So I have folded this paper down just because it's easier to look at. Here's an angle, and it is called a right angle. And a right angle looks like an L. Any way you turn it, where the two lines meet. See how that's an L? Be an upside down L. It can be any way, but this is a right angle. We can turn these angles in any direction and they're still called right angles. And I'm going to show you this. I've made my L and I have made angles on this piece of paper. And to check this, if I put my L in there, there's a right angle. Oh, look, this one's a little different. Is it still a right angle? Yes, it is. See, it's just turned different. Still makes an L. This one I have to go like this. And on this one, I'm going to go like this. So it makes an L where the two angles meet any which way it's turned. And that is called a right angle. Okay, mathematicians use a special symbol to show that an angle is a right angle. And let me show you what they do. I'm going to do it on each one of these so you will see. Okay. We draw a small square in the corner of the angle to show that it's a right angle. See how right where those two corners meet? I have drawn a small square. So we know that that's a right angle, just like we use symbols for other things, right? We use a symbol for temperature. We use a symbol for inches. We're going to use a symbol for the right angle. So I have used the right angle symbol in each of those corners to show that it's a right angle. Okay. Now we can't get out our geo boards, but we can draw with and make our own right angles. So I want you to get your lesson worksheet 114. And if you look at it, it's got 4 boxes that look like geo boards. And we're going to practice drawing shapes. And then we are going to identify the right angles in those shapes. So in box number 1, I want you to draw a square. So remember, a square means all 4 sides will be the same length. So you can use the dots on there to draw your square. And I did one that was 3 across and 3 down. Now, think of the letter L after you've drawn your square. And I want you to make the symbol for the right angle in the corners that show a right angle. And in a square, all 4 corners meet and make an L. Okay? Now in box number 2, I want you to draw a rectangle. So 2 sides will be the same length, and then the other 2 sides will be a different length, but they'll be the same length. Okay? So on mine, this is what I did. I did 2 across and 3 down. Now, on a square, do all of those make an L? Yes, they do. So every corner there is a right angle. The corners meet, they're a right angle. Okay, now let's talk about a triangle. Okay, a lot of triangles do not make an exact L. Okay, They might make something called an acute angle, which would be less than a right angle. Or they might make something called an obtuse angle, which would be more than a right angle. But we're talking right angles. You can make a triangle that has a right angle in it. And when you do, that is called a right triangle. So actually, I've drawn a right triangle, but I think I'm going to also draw on this fourth box. I was going to have you just have fun with it, but on this fourth box, I'm going to make one that is not. Okay, this is a right triangle. This one is not, because this does not make an L shape. It comes in closer. But this one, in one of the corners, right there, not in this corner, not in this corner, but in this corner, I can do it again, it shows a right angle. Okay, so a right triangle, if it is a right triangle, there will be one corner where they meet that will make a perfect L shape. The other two corners do not. They are either acute or obtuse angles, like this one. Okay, your fourth box, you can try to draw another shape with a right angle. You could make it up, or you can just leave that one blank since I'm not there to help you. Okay, so I hope that made sense, and we'll work more with that if we need to. Let's move on to Guided Class Practice 114A. And I know you all are doing great with your centimeters, because you know inches and you know centimeters, and we've moved on to centimeters. But I wanted to look at question number 1, and I wanted to read it out loud for you and make sure that you are underlining and bracketing. Here is sentence number 1. There are 43 jump ropes and 12 balls for the children to use during recess. 15 children are using jump ropes. How many jump ropes are not being used? Aha, that's tricky, boys and girls. Don't let that trick you. Okay, where is the back? Okay, so first, let's underline what we are trying to find out. How many jump ropes are not being used? Okay, and we can use J.R. for our jump rope, so we don't have to write it all out. So how many were there in the beginning? There were 43 jump ropes. So that's important. How many jump ropes? 43 jump ropes. Bracket that, okay? Because that we need to find out about jump ropes, and that says jump ropes. Go on and read. It says, and 12 balls for the children to use during recess. Okay, we're not trying to find out anything about balls, are we? So we're going to cross out 12 balls because we don't need that information. We're going to keep going. 15 children are using jump ropes. Okay, now we're back to the kids using jump ropes. That is important. Bracket 15 children are using jump going Okay, so what this is some and someone away, right? So how many are not being used? I'm gonna write out my number sentence first. 43 J.R minus 15 J.R equals how many? Okay, so how many are not being used? I will go over to my workspace and I will write 43 minus 15, and I'm going to have to regroup to get my answer. Okay, I want you to try to do that on your own. And then the answer key is attached, so you can check it if you need to. But I don't want to just give it to you because I want you to try it on your own, and you're so smart, I know you can do it. Okay, kids? Okay, let's look at the rest of the information on this page. Number 2, let's kind of do that one together because that's kind of a new concept. This is a tally to show how many children chose each color. Color the graph to show the colors the children chose. Okay, so we have our tally marks and we see that we have yellow, purple, and pink. Now we're going to go look at our graph. Colors children chose. And if we look down at the bottom, it says yellow, purple, and pink. It counts by 2. So each square, by looking at that, we know that the value of each square going up is 2, right? So yellow, if we look at our tally marks, we have 10. So we would shade in all the way to 10. But on purple, it is an odd number. So we would not go all the way to 8. We would go halfway, right? And I'm going to have you finish that up. Number 3, a new concept also, color 4 1/4 squares. So this is where we are working with mixed numbers. We know we're going to color 4 of them, but we're only going to color 1/4 of the last one. The bottom number is the denominator, so that means we have to divide it into 4 equal shapes. So I'm going to do a cross through the middle, and I have 4 equal sections then, and I'm going to color in 1/4. Okay, let's look at number 4. Put a small square in each right angle of this shape. Use a corner of a piece of paper to check the angles. Okay, to check the angles. So you can use your corner of a piece of paper to check the angles. That angle makes an L. That angle makes an L. You're going to have to kind of do this on your own because you won't be able to see with how small that is. Okay, I'm going to give you a hint. There are 3 right angles in that shape. 3 right angles. See if you can find them. One is at the top. That's all I'm going to say. Then check your work. Oh, I just gave you the answer. How many right angles? There's 3. Then it says trace the parallel line segments using a crayon. Do you remember the definition of a parallel line? 2 straight lines that are equal distance apart. Okay. And then I'm going to have you work on number 5 and number 6 on your own. These are things hopefully you can read and understand. Yep, I think you can do it. Okay, thank you, boys and girls. Good luck. Bye.